Okay, today's challenge is going to be I've got to try to figure out before I have into a massive commitment of this Freedonia strip. This is not working. Whether I want to go with magazine size format or if I want to go with standard modern era comic book size format, which is a good bit smaller. I like the magazine size format. I'm pretty much already kind of committed to that. Even though it's going to cost more to print, I could care less about the cost. Once each issue is created, I am much less concerned about the cost. It's all about establishing a fan base. I think you can survive in the modern era as an artist if you have a very cult type following fan base of, maybe anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people that are willing to support you and your concepts. All right, Dan. I don't know if that's working, but off screen here, I have one of the my inspirations, which is E.C. Segar's Popeye comic strip. E.C. Segar was very much a self-taught cartoonist. His stuff was extremely amateurish when he first began. He actually was fortunate enough to land a gig doing Charlie Chaplin Capers comic strip. And Charlie Chaplin is another person that was on the forefront of a movement. He's, the great grandfather of modern filmmaking. Well, E.C. Segar was in a similar situation. How do you, if you're at the beginning of a new medium, then there are no rules and regulations until you dictate what they are. I think an inch border's, I think a half-inch border on a 24 by 18 page is going to be where it's at. So anyway, Charlie Chaplin came up with some really novel film making techniques. E.C. Segar learned from some of his peers in that same time period and then applied some of the wisdom and experience of others to his own style until he became very refined. By the time the character Popeye was created, he'd already done symbol theater for many, many years. But what I like about the pacing of and the frame layouts of E.C. Segar's work is the name Thimble Theater was very much a reference to the film industry. So he staged his cartoons as if you were watching a play or a film. It looks more like a play, actually, because filmmaking changed to the point where, fancy camera angles and lighting became, primary concerns later on. And Orson Welles was one of the ones who took that to a new level. But if you went to see a play on stage, the actors have to go except to stand on that wooden floor pretty much directly in front of you. So you don't have the luxury of coming up with fancy angles, etc. You just have to let the work of the play itself, do all the talking, as it were. And the staging of who comes on from what side. So it was a really straightforward, I wouldn't call it simple, because I'm sure that people that work in plays and stage management, they would disagree. if you were to insinuate that what they do is simple, it has to flow. That's the key point, you know. It has to be, when it flows properly, you don't notice, and that's the great magic of any kind of medium, is you get immersed in the story and you aren't thinking, oh, hey, I'm watching a play. You're just literally sitting there watching a story unfold and not thinking about all the work that went into making it look as quote unquote simple as it appears. All right, so now the next question is, if I do standardized panel sizes, what's going to be the best? So if I got 23 inches and I suck at math, by 17 inches to play with. So if we cut 17 in half, you got 8 and a half, but then we take a quarter off of that. So if we went 8 and a quarter, right? No, that's wrong. So 8 and a quarter this way by 8 and a quarter this way. That should leave us with a ½ inch in between. Yes. Hallelujah. One thing I can't argue about math is that it's universal, and there's no incorrect way to interpret that which is more or less a fact. It's a factual language. I-O, 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 I-O. I-O, I-O. It's off to math we go. That sounds like a nightmare. I would never go to a land that is strictly based around math. I got into really big trouble when I was in high school. Yes, believe it or not, class clown, sent to principal. But in my defense, she asked for it. So I was at war with my 10th grade math teacher, Mrs. Denning, for the entire year. She didn't understand or see the benefit of me doing nothing but doodling cartoons during her class. Like I was somehow wasting her time. How am I wasting her time when she's got 26 other kids that seem totally enraptured by her X's and O's, Y times Z to the 10th power equals blow it out your ass. Anyway, but Mrs. Denning caught me doodling yet again and not paying attention to her daily lesson. So she called me up to the blackboard and asked me to assign letters to, there was some equation she'd written on the board, and she wanted me to assign letters, okay? And this is where I got away with bloody murder in a sense. So she wanted me to assign letters. And I said, I was very clear when it spontaneously popped into my head that I could do something low down, devilish, and dirty. Very distinctly, I recall enunciating with perfect diction, any letters? Yes, Jameson, you can assign any letters to this equation. She wanted me to assign letters to this abstract theoretical bullshit and then attempt to solve it, right? So because I didn't want to, I'm not a fan of hitting people on the head with a hammer unless they're attacking me, of course. And when I was assaulted that one time, I kind of pain. Or a ballpoint pen to poke the guy's eyeballs out. Anyway, because I didn't want to hit everybody over the head with my devilish concept in my head. So we're going to divide this by 3. So 23 divided by 3 would be, like, let's say 7 and Oh, Lord. Won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Let's just wing it. Let's just say, no, it's going to have to be divided by 4, I think, to make this work. Because the aspect ratio, yeah. Actually, a ½ inch is way too much to be in. Yeah, a ½ inch is way too much. Anyway, getting back to the story. So, Mrs. Denning conferred that all I had to do was just write letters on the board to start. Letters, any letters. So I began to very cleverly, I thought cleverly at the time, in retrospect, maybe not so much, kind of like, shooting yourself in the foot kind of a thing. Anyway, I very cleverly wrote out of sequence the letters O, F, A, C, W, T all around. Well, the class of 16-year-olds, they picked up pretty quickly what it was I was doing and started to giggle and then snicker, and then others became aware until full-blown laughter broke out. And Mrs. Denning, who hadn't been really paying attention to the letters I'd been choosing, finally turned around and looked at the blackboard to see that I had spelled out, but not in sequence, I had spelled out fat cow. And she was a big woman. She was the 1980s. I mean, she was definitely, I guess you would definitely, yeah. But what could she do? I had very, 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 very pointedly made sure to cover my ass. And I agreed to her terms, and she laid down the rules based upon my preemptive question. So I wanted to say I got away with it, kind of, sort of, but she was so mad and flustered and embarrassed. She pointed back to my seat and asked me to sit down, that would be enough out of me for the day. But then the following day, she used to send me to the principal's office, where I'm sure the principal had been briefed on my egregious actions from the day prior. So it's not one of my proudest moments, especially now that we're living in a different world where things like that are absolutely not cool or politically correct. But it was a neat thing, let me tell you. And this war had been going on for so long. The whole class knew that we were bitter enemies. I eventually ended up in one of my other enemy teacher classes in 11th grade, sitting facing the wall for the entire year. Mr. Conte, my English teacher, who eventually blew his own brains out, unfortunately for him. Maybe I had something to do with it. I pleading the fifth here, but I'm sure that dealing with a bunch of snot-nosed kids on a daily basis could drive you insane. A bunch of punks. He actually called me a punk. But yeah, facing the wall all year suited me just fine. I was like, all right, I don't have to look at the backs of people's heads anymore. Now I can just face this cinder block wall, and it allowed me to focus on my cartoon doodles a little bit more. I'm out of touch with cartooning now, though. That's why I'm trying to get back into it here. So 23 divided by 4, let's just say it's like 5. And, well, what's 2 divided by, oh, yeah, so there you go. Now I'm thinking straight. 5.5. 5.5, but that ain't leaving me nothing for, so let's see. 5.5 And 5.5 would be 11, right? 11. And 5.5 would be 16.5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how do I end up with one that's an inch longer? Oh, I see what I did wrong. Right. Okay. Yeah, I screwed up. This is why this is. Yep, should have paid attention to math class. All right, so let's go 5 3/4 with a 1/4 inch in between. So 5 3/4 with a 1/4 inch in between. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, that mathematically does not work out either. So let's go 5.5. We'll hold it. Okay, so you know what I'm not taking into consideration is if I do yeah, all right. So let's do 5 3/4. Shit on it. With a 1/2 inch in between. 5 3/4. I should have just planned these pages out beforehand, but nope. Had to be difficult. Had to have a lot of live stream time where nothing is getting done, I guess. But on my own learning curve here also. 5 3/4 with a 1/2 inch in between, 1/4 in between. 5 3/4 with a 1/4 in between. 5 3/4 between 5 3/4. Diddly-da-doo-da-dee-da-da-doo-dar, doo-dar. Diddly-da-doo-da-dee-da-da, oh, the doo-dar day. Oh, the doo-dar day. Oh, the doo-dar day. One thing that I've often done over the years, which is probably inappropriate, is when I actually use a Sharpie or whatever for my rectangles, is I just kind of wing it. I don't use a ruler. I just freehand it. And that's probably what I'm going to do today. Because if it ain't broke, why fix it? Or if it's been broken as long as it has, as is the case here, why try to, yep, stubborn, just like a mule, and almost as handsome as one. My roommate used to have a horse's ass. So for years I thought, well, maybe I should find somebody to go to a Halloween costume party with some year where I can actually be a horse's ass and somebody can be the horse's head. And then I could basically fulfill a prophecy or somebody else's vision of what I am. Works for me. All right. So this bottom set of rectangles is actually not the same size as these other, right? Boo, hiss. Yep, you can actually see just a visual at a glance here. I don't know. I kind of like the rougher look of just hand drawn. Every rectangle is kind of its own little slightly misshapen, like handcrafted soap. It's not 100% clean or approved by the FDA, but it gets the job done, damn it. I think the benefit of doing a magazine size format, even though it might be a little trickier to self-publish that size, is that it gives you the chance to establish a more cinematic kind of comic experience. So yeah, in a sense, they're boring panels, right? They're just rectangles. But once you've established that as the norm, people will begin to see it more as, oh, I'm not just reading a comic book. I'm like watching a movie, which is a little highfalutin, perhaps. And arrogant on my part to presume that anything that I could possibly create would be worthy of projection onto a giant screen. I find that my hand tenses up more when I'm trying to do something like this than when I'm just loosey-goosey penciling or using a brush. What up, Tiggs? Come on up, see me, buddy. Can I get a kiss, you stinker? Can I get a kiss? I hear Wolfie running around up there. Okay. Pretty much most of what I create can be traced back to this drawing board due to, well, I don't know, humans have fingerprints, right? Cats have paw prints. I mean, is there like some cat detective agency that can track down bad cats and hold them accountable for the crimes they've committed by taking their paw prints and putting them into a database? I do not know. But I do know this. I'm going to stop talking and we're going to listen to Old Time Radio You Bet Your Life episode, which is in the public domain, while I try to figure out. This is just a test, so I don't really care about the content so much. But I'm just going to see if I can get a little flow going and see what it looks like when it's all said and done. Because I have historically, I don't know if that's the proper word, but throughout my existence, I have had trouble cramming things into certain sized panels. Like this sheet of paper itself, if I did, for instance, yesterday's image, I mean, I struggled to get all those 4 giant heads onto that sheet of paper. It's like no matter what size I work, I always struggle to keep things within the borders. So this is going to be either an exercise in futility or maybe I can learn something here. All right. Something going on. Windows Media Player sucks ass. All right, let's see what we got here. There's a problem with my sound device. What? Whew. There we go. All right. Okay, Windows computer sucks ass. Let's try restarting the computer and see if that happens. All right, so what I got going on here is I think I'm just going to have this kind of scene where Wacko is approaching the brother the first time about this accidental discovery that he's made with this liquid that he created in his laboratory. The liquid is basically it's a liquid that when you dump it in water and it sinks, it will sink down to whatever depth, and when it touches something else, whatever it touches, it makes that thing or item buoyant. So in this case, the brothers, particularly Zero, who's the businessman, who already has a successful salvage company. Zero figures out that there is really an excellent chance that this could help raise up things that are contaminating the oceans. Make your computer specifically, Windows will read it. Out in the Pacific vortex, there is a giant swirling mass of plastic. It all ends up there due to the currents of the oceans bring it all to the Pacific vortex. So they're going to plan to, quote unquote, save the planet by raising up contaminants with this liquid. Of course, not necessarily bearing in mind that, hey, you've got to create a shit ton of this toxic substance, this liquid, in order to extract the pollutants that are already there, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
If anybody mentions the word sky, S-K-Y, at any moment during the next half hour, he wins $250 in cash immediately. Really? You bet your life. Elgin American, creators of America's most beautiful compacts, smartest cigarette cases, finest dresser sets, present Groucho Marx in the new comedy quiz series, You Bet Your Life, produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here's that sterling Elgin American, the one, the only... That's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Our knowledge is power. Last week, a grocer and a housewife knew that Arizona was the last state into the Union and clipped me for $3,500. So tonight, we start to build again with $1,000. George Fenneman, which of our three couples is supposed to try for it? Well, we invited several Fuller Brush salesmen to be in the audience tonight, and just before we went on the air, the audience selected salesman Alan Mays to be on the show, and the housewife, Mrs. Susan Jarvis, to be his partner. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx. Hello, folks. Hello. A Fuller Brush salesman and a housewife. Well, step right into the parlor and make yourselves at home. And if either of you say the secret word, I'll give you $250 immediately. It's a common word that covers a lot of subjects. Mrs. Jarvis, what do you think it is? Take a guess. Sweeper? No, I'm sorry. And what do you think, Mr. Mays?
I would say soap.
You would, huh? Well, you can say so, but that's not it, Mr. Mr. Mays, what are some of the hazards of your profession?
Well, that little peek hole in the front door is about the worst.
The what?
A little peek hole in the front door.
Well, you get a draft? Those door-to-door salesmen bother me very much. Every time I used to take a shower, the front doorbell rang. Now I take my showers in the living room. But that brought a new problem. Now the neighbors complain when I scrub my bay window. Tell me, what new brushes are you pushing this year? I pushed a brush for 6 years, and they motorized the whole division. What new brushes are you pushing this year, Mr. Mays?
We have a new brush this year with a new look.
What do you mean? Long handle?
That's long handle and a nice long spiral bristle.
Do you have any back scratches?
Yes.
I've been itching to get one of those for years. By the way, do they still make brushes out of pig bristles?
That's right.
I have a shaving brush made out of pig bristles. We alternate. One morning I shave, and the next morning the pig shaves. Yeah, he's quite a ham.
And now, Groucho, we have some ideal Valentine gifts for these folks. An Elgin American compact finished in jeweler's bronze for Mrs. Jarvis, and a handsome cigarette case finished in jeweler's bronze for Mr. Mays, also by Elgin American.
Mrs. Jarvis, how did you meet your husband?
Well, I went out ginseng hunting.
I beg your pardon. You went what?
Ginseng hunting.
Hunting for
Angelical. No, sir. That's
Ginseng.
Yes, sir. That's what they make medicine out of.
Oh, I thought you were after a Chinaman.
We dig ginseng and dry those roots and sell them, and they made medicine out of it, sent to the wholesale druggies in Memphis, Tennessee.
How'd you meet your husband while you were digging the ginseng?
Well, I started to, or had been, and started in the wild cattle come down the hill, and the bull got after me, and I started running, and he was...
The bull, that was your husband?
No, sir. The cattle, the bull got after me.
Oh, I see. And your husband jumped in and...
Oh, he was coming over the hill, going around with some cattle and bears, riding a mule. And he saw me running, and the
he was a Democrat, no doubt, huh?
He run the mule and beat the bull with me and got me and put me on the back of a mule and took me home. I'd never met him. I'd heard of their names, but out there in the country,
got married, and
he
carried the donkey over the threshold.
He took me home. He took me home. And
I should hope he took you home, huh?
Well,
you with a bag full of ginseng and... Well, a housewife and a brush salesman make a pretty good couple. Now get ready to play You Bet Your Life. In just 1 minute, you're going to have a chance to win $1,000. But first, there's another salesman on the show by name George Fenneman. I want you folks to pay close attention.
There's a reason for everything. But there's many a reason to make your Valentine gift a compact by Elgin American. First, it's the gift she'll enjoy a long, long time, not just a day or two. Next, that special woman deserves the special thrill of the name Elgin American on her compact. This name stands for designing that's exquisite and individual, for a jewel-like finish that lasts longer, for superior craftsmanship in the clasp, hinge, and every detail. Reason number 3, an Elgin American compact assures that smart, glamorous look fashion says today's woman should have when she's using her compact.
When I'm working on the actual Freedonia, there will be full scripts
for as little as $2.95 or as much as you care to spend.
before I ever sit down to actually pencil anything.
At any leading department store, specialty shop, or jewelry store. This Valentine's Day.
This is just an experiment, though.
Proud too, with the gift of a glorious new Elgin American compact.
So I'm going to wing it. I'm just going to make up dialogue panel to panel, just stream of consciousness kind of a thing.
Mrs. Jarvis, if you two won all that money, how would you spend your hair?
well, if I won the money, I'd buy my crippled sister a wheelchair and a radio.
Well, that'd be a wonderful way to spend it. And, Mr. Mays, where would your half go?
Oh, I would give it to the Shrine Crippled Children's Hospital.
Well, you couldn't do any better than that with the money. Well, maybe you'll win it. George, tell them how to play You Bet Your Life.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 question. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what goes on until it's their turn.
All right, now let's see how high you can run your $20. You pick questions on famous streets. Your first question pays even money. Bet 10, make 10. Mr. Mays, how much of your $20 do you bet? How much? Talk right up now.
$10?
$10? Okay, here it is. What is the name of the street where the Prime Minister of Great Britain has his official residence?
Downing Street.
Downing Street is right.
Look, Joe, they won. They now have $30.
All right, you've got $30. Second question also pays even money. Mr. Mays, how much would you bet?
15?
15? All right, Miss Jarvis. All right, here's the question. What is the name of the street in New York where the bulls and the bears clip the lambs?
Wall Street.
Wall Street is on the nose.
They now have $45, Groucho.
All right, you got $45. Your third question pays 2 to 1. Bet 10, make 20. Miss Jarvis, how much do you bet? Come on now, it's your time. How much? 20? Is that all right?
Okay.
All right, $20. This is it. The address of the capital of the United States is 1600. What is the name of the street?
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Pennsylvania Avenue.
They won $40, Groucho. They now have $85.
You've now got $85, and here's your last chance to beat the other couple to a crack at the $1,000 question. This one pays 3 to 1. Bet 10, make 30. Mr. Mays, how much do you bet?
50?
50? All right. All right, here it is now. There's a street in Louisiana that's known as the birthplace of jazz. What's its name?
Lower Basin.
Lower Basin Street is right.
Groucho, they wound up with a grand total of $235.
You wound up with a grand total of $235, and here it is. It's all yours. You're both good sports. Thanks for being here, and good luck from Elgin American Compact.
Maybe the next couple will say the secret word, Groucho. It's Sky. They've been off stage in a waiting room, and they don't know what's happened up to now. So, boys, bring them in. Just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any young folks here tonight who'd like to get married, but who haven't found the right one. And these 2 were chosen for the studio audience. Miss Irene Anderson and Mr. Cole Wilkins. Meet Groucho Marx.
Hello, kids. I'm happy to have you here. Now, let's see if either of you can figure out the secret word. It's a common word that covers a lot of subjects. Mr. Wilkins, what do you think it is?
Rug?
Rug? No. And, Miss Anderson?
Sky.
You said the secret word. It was Sky, and you said it. So you win $250 in cash from Elgin American Compact.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Anderson, why would you like to get married now that you've got this 250 smackers, huh?
Oh, I like companionship.
Just want someone around the house? Why don't you get some termites? Of course, they eat away your foundation. Cole, I'll call you Cole. That's fine. You call me Doe, and I'll call you Cole. Gotcha. What's your motive for flirting with disaster? That's marriage, son.
Well, want someone to sort of take care of the house, help out with things around there, do the laundry,
Settle down.
help me with schoolwork, everything like that.
Help you with your schoolwork. You want to marry an old principal or something. You want to settle down, why don't you try quicksand?
That's a little too
It's
bad.
much quicker, not so messy. Or you can take a long walk on a short pier. You know they're getting 15 cents now for a short pier?
Say, Groucho, Valentine's Day will be here soon, and I'd like to deliver some ideal Valentine's presents to our young couple.
Go ahead, George. Go ahead.
For the boy, that's Mr. Wilkins, this handsome Elgin American sterling silver cigarette case. And for Miss Anderson, we have a fashionable compact threesome by Elgin American. A compact for daylight, one for twilight, and one for starlight.
Beautiful.
Miss Anderson's doing right well today.
Thank you very much.
Nothing for me, George?
Nothing.
I haven't had a new contract in years. I haven't had a new contract in years. Say, Cole, are you looking for a wife?
Yes.
You are, huh? Well, what's your address?
1330 Argent Drive, El Monte, California.
Calling all girls, calling all girls. Go to 1330 Argent Drive, California. There's a man there who wants to get married, that is all. Enough. Well, Irene and Colm, you both want to get married. Maybe we can get you two together, huh? Well, let's see how well matched you two are. Do you like blondes or brunettes or redheads, Colm?
Well, blondes and brunettes.
You like blondes and brunettes? Which are you, Irene? How would you describe yourself? As a blonde redhead or a brunette?
Oh, rather auburn.
Rather auburn?
It's a little bit of red with the brunette on the blonde side.
He's a little shaky about the whole thing. Who knows what tomorrow night will bring, huh? How long have you been a little auburn with a little blonde on the side and a red? Tell me, Irene, if you got married, how many children would you like to have?
Oh, about two.
Two? And how many children would you like, Cole?
6 altogether.
Altogether? You mean you want 6 triplets? Irene, what have you got to say to that? Does that leave you speechless? Tell me, Cole, what's your idea? He refuses to talk. Tell me, Cole, what's your idea of the perfect wife?
Well, one that can is pretty good around the house, take care of things, cook meals, do the washing.
Home wife and school, you know.
I got to have help with that homework.
You want a wife that'll cook, do your housework, wash your clothes, paint the house, grease the car, and mow the lawn. Well, Cole, you need more than a wife. What you need is Phil Spitali's girl orchestra. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life for a Chance is $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much you have to beat, but George Fenham and his offstage remind our listeners.
The housewife and the salesman wound up with $35.
Here we go. Let's see how high you can build your $20. You selected questions on horse racing tracks in the cities they're in. Your first question pays even money. Bet 10, make 10. How much of your $20 will it be? Come on, Cole. It's up to you.
We'll go 50-50. $10.
$10. All right. In what city do you find Churchill Downs?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville is right on the head. And one penny will have $30, Groucho. The second question also pays even money. How much of your $30 will you bet? 20. All right. Here it is. Where's the Pimlico racetrack? Take a guess.
It's on Long Island.
Long Island in New York.
No, I'm sorry. The answer is Baltimore, Maryland.
They lost $20 that time, Groucho. They now have $10.
All right. Your third question pays 2 to 1. Bet 10, make 20. How much of your $10 will you bet?
We'll keep $1.
You're going to keep $1? You're going to bet $9. All right. You're going to make it tough for Fenneman, huh? Well, impossible. You can hardly count up to 5. Now, all right. You can win $18 on this. Where is the Bay Meadows racetrack?
Bay Meadows in San Mateo, California.
San Mateo is right.
Well, we do that one, Groucho. We now have, I think this is right, $28.
$28. I don't trust Fenneman, but we'll say it's $28. Here it comes, the last chance to beat the other couples. Your final question pays 3 to 1. Bet 10, make 30. So what's your bet? You've got $28.
We'll go the works.
You're going to bet the works, huh? All right, here it is. Where is Washington Park? Where is Washington Park?
Chicago, isn't it?
Chicago, Illinois. How much, George?
3 times 28.
This is going to take about 2 hours. He used to be an income tax man, so you'll have to forgive him, huh? How much, George?
They tell me, and I'm looking right at it, $112.
All right, you won $112, and here it is. It's all yours. And if a serious romance develops, let us know. Thanks and good luck from Elgin American Compact. Thank you, George. In just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we'll know who gets a chance at the $1,000 question. First, let's hear what George has to say about Valentine's Day.
So you want your Valentine gift to be extra impressive. Then you want an outstanding compact threesome by Elgin American. One exquisite compact for streetwear, one for dressier daytimes, and one for evening. Fashion says every woman needs 3 compacts for apparel harmony, just as she needs a change of hats and bags. Only Elgin American offers such a wide choice of designs, sizes, and shapes. And these sets of 3 compacts are beautifully gift boxed. Or you can select any 3 Elgin Americans you may prefer for your threesome box. And you can do it for just $9.95 for all 3, or as much more as you're planning on. The choice includes rich costume colors, silver finish, jeweler's bronze, and sterling silver. So if she's interested in looking smart, and what woman isn't, give her the Valentine gift of fashion. A glamorous compact threesome by Elgin American.
What are you up to? You want to sniff it out? You going to sniff it out? Tiggs? You going to sniff it out? It smells
Well,
funny.
we'll soon know
Yeah.
who's going to earn the most money tonight and
smells
qualify
funny.
for a chance at the $1,000 question. George, introduce our final guest.
All right, they've been in the waiting room off stage, so of course they don't know the secret word is sky. Okay, bring them in, boys. We invited some morning paper carriers and some women newspaper reporters to the show tonight, and here come the ones chosen for the audience just before we went on the air. Carrier Roger Sund and reporter Virginia McPherson, meet Roger Mark.
Hello, folks. Hello, and welcome to the show. Newspaper people, eh? Well, I've got news for both of you. If you say the secret word, I'll give you $250 instantly. It's a common word that covers a lot of subjects. What do you think it is, Roger? Just Claude? No. And,
How many guesses do we get?
You get one guess, Miss. That's McPherson. That's the Scotch coming out. You get one guess. Can you figure out the clue? Take a guess.
Oh, covers a lot of things.
Yes. Covers a lot of subjects. It's not the King of England, huh?
Sky?
It was Sky. So you win $250 in cash from Elgin American Compacts. Congratulations, and here's your $250. What are you going to do? Miss McPherson, what are you going to do with the $250?
I think I put it in the bank for my baby's education.
Oh, you've got a baby, huh?
Yeah.
What newspaper do you work on?
I work for United Press Wire Service.
United Press? What do you do trousers too? And
Looking this comes up.
how old are you, Roger?
15.
18, huh? What's your occupation?
I carry for the Los Angeles Times.
You're a paper boy, huh?
Right.
You don't look like a paper boy. You look like a real boy, doesn't you? You know, I worked in a newspaper once for 3 years. I finally quit. I couldn't solve that crossword puzzle. What does your father do?
He's a cabinet maker.
Cabinet making? You mean in Washington? And what do you want to do? Do you want to be a reporter when you grow up, like Miss McPherson?
No, I want to get into aviation.
You don't want to be a girl reporter, huh? Well, that's a very practical plan, Roger. You know, there are a lot of boys and girls in this country who can't get around and earn money for themselves. They've got infantile paralysis. We can help those kids, and at the same time help to keep others from becoming victims of polio by joining in a March of Dimes. Miss McPherson, where's your hometown?
Right here in Los Angeles.
Born here? Whereabouts?
Native daughter, right?
Naked daughter? Or
Right
naked?
here.
Could I ask your age, or isn't that for publication?
27.
27. You don't look it. I thought you were 22.
I've lived.
You've lived. Have you ever interviewed any celebrities?
Every day. I cover the Hollywood beat now.
Have you ever been threatened because of something you printed?
Oh, yes.
Well, what happened?
Well, do I have to say?
Well, you don't have to, but we'd like to hear.
Well, it's usually stars who actually say what they think and then read it in that big black type the next morning and get a sudden shock.
Well, when they're telling you what they think, I didn't think they could read the next morning. But don't get me wrong, I may do a movie any year. Say, Roger, what time do you have to get up in the morning to deliver your papers?
4:30.
You get up at 4:30? I suppose that's so you can deliver the paper by 6 so the neighbor's dog can rip it to shreds by 7, huh? What time do you go to bed at night?
Around 8:30.
8:30. You don't get enough sleep. Do you get a chance to take a nap in the daytime?
Yes.
In which class? Tell me, have you ever had any excitement along your paper route?
Well, one morning it's pretty dark. And I was just about to throw a paper while I was going up the hill, and this dove.
This
I
what?
didn't. This dove. I didn't know it was a dove then.
Dove?
I thought it was an owl. It died down out of the tree, and he just scared me. I threw it, and I broke a couple of milk bottles.
Well, what were you carrying? Milk bottles or newspapers? I don't understand. Well, how'd you break the milk bottle?
I threw it, and threw it that hard with the milk bottle.
Were the pigeons homogenized after that? Now, let's see how well a girl reporter and a carrier boy can work together for $1,000. I can't tell you how much you've got to beat, but George days remind our listeners.
The Fuller Brushman and the housewife are high so far with $235.
All right, here we go. Now, let's see how high you can build your $20. You selected questions about movies with states in the title. The first question pays even money. Bet 10, make 10. Miss McPherson, how much of your $20 will it be?
Let's just bet half of it.
Half of it? All right, Roger. Okay, Ray Milland made a recent movie with Barbara Stanwyck with a state in the title. What was the name of the picture?
What's up? How's my beast?
Ray Milland and Barbara Stanwyck?
Yes. The title had a state. I'm sorry, the answer is California. You were born here, Miss McPherson.
And I cover Hollywood.
And you covered the Hollywood beat, huh?
Hey, you.
Well, all right.
They lost 10, Groucho. They now have $10.
Okay, Einstein. Now, here comes your second question. Look how easily you figured that out, huh? You ought to be at Princeton. You're wasting your time around here. Your second question also pays even money. Now, Roger, how much of your $10 would you bet? $5. All right, Mrs. McPherson.
Yeah, we better.
All right, here it is. Three of our newest young stars, Gene Crane, June Haver, and Ron McAllister, got their big break in a picture about sulky racing. What was the name of the picture? And the state in the title. What is it?
Indiana.
Indiana is right. Home in Indiana.
They now have $15.
They now have $15, according to the demon mathematician over there. Your third question pays 2 to 1. Bet 10, make 20. Miss McPherson, how much will it be?
How much do we have now?
You've got $15.
Oh, let's bet 10.
10, all right, here it is. Canadian-born Raymond Massey gave one of his greatest performances as Abe Lincoln. What was the name of the picture? The name of the state is in the title.
In Illinois?
Illinois, Abe Lincoln in Illinois is right.
Groucho, they now have $35.
You now got $35. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. Your final question pays 3 to 1. Bet 10, make 30. Roger, what's your bet?
15.
All right, Miss
Let's bet
McPherson.
more than that. Let's bet 30.
All right, you're betting 30. All right, Roger. Come on, take a chance. Come on, let's take a chance. What do you say? Come on now.
Okay.
25. All right, here it is. Hey, I got to figure it out. Figure it out, huh? I know how much they'd have if they bet 30. All right, how much would they have if they bet? How much would they have if they bet 25? It'll be a short course here of about 3 hours.
Okay, they can bet 25.
All right, you're betting 25. Here it is. Walter Brennan got an Academy Award for a portrayal in a picture with the name of the state in the title. What was the picture? What was the picture? Walter Brennan. You got an Academy Award for a portrayal in a picture with the name of the state in the title. No, I'm sorry. The answer is Kentucky. How much did they finish with, George?
They finished with $10, Groucho.
And for that, you got $250 for saying the secret word. And it's all yours. Congratulations from Elgin American Compacts.
And the big winner for tonight, the Fuller Brush salesman and the housewife who wound up with $235.
Congratulations to our winning couple, and thanks to all of you. Now, in just 30 seconds, I'll ask the $1,000 question. But first, here's an answer to the Valentine question. Tell him, George.
Say it for Valentine's Day with the Gift Shield prize every day. An exciting new compact or compact threesome by Elgin American. You certainly want hers to be as fine and smart as they come. And that means Elgin American compacts to the fashion world. She'll think the world of you and your taste. If your Valentine gift is a thrilling new compact or three by Elgin American. For daylight, twilight, starlight. into $235. Let's have that
$1,000 in cash from Belgian American Complex. Miss Jarvis, if you win it, what are you going to do with your head?
Well, I'd still buy my crippled sister the wheelchair and the radio and the foot warmer and a lot of other things.
Well, those are wonderful objectives. Those are wonderful. And you, Mr. Mays, you still going to give your money to the crippled children of the shrine?
That's right.
All right. Now, there are two good reasons for you to answer the question correctly. Now, good luck and no help in the audience, please. If you reveal the answer, we'll just have to ask another question. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on the single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly. Here it is for $1,000 in cash. For the first time in history, a letter carrier has worked his way up through the ranks to become Postmaster General. What is his name? Mr. Mays, what is the answer you two decided on?
I don't know the name definitely. It's something like Farnham or Fairway.
One answer. I'm sorry, the correct answer is Jesse M. Donaldson, the Postmaster General of the United States. So that means the big question next week will be worth $1,500. You've been a wonderful team. And in addition to your gifts from Belgian American, you earned how much, George? $235. Right. It's all yours. Congratulations and thanks to both of you.
Be sure to tune in every Wednesday night for You Bet Your Life, starring Roger Martin. Next week, the big question pays $1,500. You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed in Hollywood, directed by Bob Vaughn, and presented for the creators of America's most beautiful compact, smartest cigarette cases, and finest dresser sets, Elgin American.
Good night, folks. Have you looked at your compact lately?
See what I mean about not being able to keep the damn character inside the panel? Drives me nuts. Okay, let's see what the next one is.
You're about to be entertained by some of the biggest names in television.
Garbage.
You're out your mouth. It's your picture. I'm the staffer. David Brown. John Agar. Charles up. Jimmy Wallace. Meredith Wilson.
And my name's Ellen. This is the bank check.
The National Broadcasting Company presents The Big Show. The Big Show. 90 minutes with the most scintillating personalities in the entertainment world.
Scintillating personality.
At the same time as a Sunday feature of Five Show Festival. NBC's star-studded 5-night-a-week program extravaganza. Tonight's Big Show is presenting the spotlight stars of Fanny Bright, Groucho Marx,
Edgar Beaton, Dave Howell, Henry Stafford, David Bryant, John Agar, Frank Lovejoy, and Darren Phillips. And here is your hostess, the glamorous, unpredictable Tallulah Bankhead.
Well, we're back again this week with the second of our series of star-studded programs. Last week, New York, this week, Hollywood. I just want to say one thing about our last big show, and then we'll forget about it. We loved your letters, and we'd like to have you continue writing us. I am most grateful for the comments of the press and public, and I want to say in all humility that I couldn't possibly have lived up to the notices if it hadn't been for my material. Hattie Carnegie made me a gorgeous gown of the finest material she could find. As for the comments of some of my friends who thought I was nervous on the first show, well, I want to say that I wasn't the lit beast nervous. Well, I was as cool and as calm as I am right now. But so much for the first show. You've just heard the names of the stars on this week's show, and you think that all there is, sweetheart. I fooled you, didn't I? You thought I was going to say darling. Well, just listen to this line up next week. Bob Hope, Jimmy Durante, Eddie Cantor, Jose Ferrer, Terry Como, Mindy Carson. Nothing but the cream of show business. That's NBC. Nothing but cream. I guess you think we're aiming rather high, but we always try to hit our mark.
Groucho Marx, that's me.
Well, look who's here.
Hello, who are you?
Groucho Marx.
You're Groucho Marx? Oh, you're Groucho Marx.
Oh, come now, I'm not Groucho. You know who I am, don't you?
I'll take a wild guess. Chico?
No, sweetheart.
Topo?
No, darling.
Am I warm?
No, darling.
You know, I've had that same complaint lately from all women.
My name is Tallulah.
A phony name have I ever heard of.
Tallulah Bankhead Groucho.
Oh, Tallulah Bankhead Groucho.
No, you tickled me.
Today, what are you doing after the show?
I have a dinner engagement.
Do you believe in short engagements?
I have an appointment after the show.
What are you doing during the show?
I'm pretty busy doing this show, my pet. This is an hour-and-a-half program, you know.
An hour and a half? Mm-hmm. That's a rather odd figure, isn't it? Speaking of odd figures, what are you doing after the show?
Well, darling, I'm having a man for dinner.
That's the main course. What are you having for...
Well, we're going to Ciro's for dinner. We're having pheasants under glass.
You wouldn't consider a peasant under glasses, huh?
Now, look here, my sweet. I'm getting a little bit fed up.
And you haven't even had dinner yet.
Oh, what's the use? You're incorrigible.
I'll accept that, but who are you?
I'm a fan of yours, Groucho, and I've always adored.
How can you say that? We haven't even been out together. So what are you doing after the show?
I told you I'm busy.
How about before the show?
Before the show, I had a malted milk.
Do you mind if I join you?
I'm trying to tell you as gently as I can. I can't see you before, during, or after the show.
Well, now that you've given me the brush, how about you and me going out and painting the town red?
And you're just the one to do it, aren't you, Carl?
I'm Groucho Marx.
And now, if you don't mind, I'd like to go on with the show.
Go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many stars on our program.
Tallulah. I used to know a Pullman car named Tallulah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have so many stars on our program.
You've had quite a caboose.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Tallulah, indeed.
we have so many stars on our program.
Obviously, this woman is an imposter.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many stars on our program.
Who sponsors this program?
We have no sponsor, ladies and gentlemen.
No sponsor?
No, we're sustaining, ladies and gentlemen.
How can you sustain yourself without a sponsor?
We have so many stars on the show.
No sponsor? What do my friends think?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Do I have any friends?
Ladies and gentlemen.
If they could think.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have so many stars on our program.
How can you afford it without a sponsor?
Hold it.
I'll bet the rent here alone must be about $85 a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Oh, I mean, Groucho, please.
How can a big hour-and-a-half program like this go with all these big stars go on without a sponsor? We'll give it some class. We'll have it sponsored by the Plebo Company.
Groucho, what is the Plebo Company?
Who cares? There must be a company named Plebo. And if there is, we'll send them a bill for it. Now, who were you trying to introduce?
Meredith Wilson and his officer.
Okay, commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, Meredith Wilson and his officer are brought to you by the Plebo Company, America's foremost manufacturers. The Plebo Company has been manufacturing Formos for years. Try a Formos, or better still, try the large economy size, the 5 Most. Remember, when using Formos, use caution. Caution comes in 6 delicious flavors. So, ladies, if Formos persists, see your doctor. If your doctor persists, use caution.
And now Meredith Wilson, officer Ted Starter, and I want to talk to you, darling. I remember you were one of the 4 Mills brothers.
I'll be back to finish this later. I got to go to the bathroom, let the cat out, and get something to eat. But since nobody's watching, I guess it doesn't matter.